how's everyone doing today? I want to make a quick video letting you guys know personally how I legit check my shoes and how I think other people should legit check their shoes. Because nowadays it's quite a tough market, and for me personally there's a lot of tips and tricks that I want to put out there and to let you guys know so you don't fall victim to any scams, any sus things happening within the sneaker community, to me at least. So with that note, let's get into it, and we'll start off with some tips and tricks on kind of where to buy, kind of where not to buy. So I hope you guys enjoy. Starting it off, so some tips and tricks here. One of the main things that I want to discuss is where you're buying shoes. So recently StockX, they actually don't provide authenticity, and there's a lot of companies that don't. You should really look into shoe stores, local stores, and some of the bigger stores, I guess, Urban Necessities, Flight Club, Soul Stage. Some of the ones that do consignment, they do a great job at legit checking their pairs. However, there's been a lot of issues with the online, the bigger platforms, GOAT, StockX. There's been some issues with them. Even if the authenticity is good, there's still, there's been shipping issues, there's been payment issues, there's a whole bunch happening there. So honestly, I would spend the extra buck and go shop locally with one of your, local sneaker stores. Because at the end of the day, they are putting in more time than those companies because they have a lot more to lose. If a shoe is found fake at, a bigger company or a bigger store, it's not as big of a deal. Whereas if it's a smaller store, they don't have as much leeway. They kind of have to get it right. It's their reputation's on the line, whereas the bigger stores, it doesn't matter as much, if that makes sense. So where you buy from is very important. Look at the reviews, make sure it's a reputable seller, look at the references, look what people are saying about them. If you're spending a lot of money on something, you should always, and it's not directly from like a retailer like Louis Vuitton, Chanel. If it's like a designer, then of course, you're good. But for old Jordans and stuff like that, it's kind of hard, it's pretty hard where to buy and sell stuff. So make sure you look at the reviews, make sure you look at their ratings, make sure you look at other reviews. I can't stress it enough. Where you buy stuff from is super important to not get scammed in the first place. Because if you buy from the right place, it's going to be legit pretty much every time. But basically, I'm going to get into the actual logistics on how I legit check them, what to look for, and things to look out for. So so today we're not going to get into every little detail of every little shoe, like where the wing logo is supposed to be, how the stitching is supposed to connect, how low the swoosh is supposed to be. There's tons of comparison pictures, YouTube videos, all of that regarding reviews of all of these shoes. For me personally, I've seen the shoes so many times over that I can look at them and I can feel them, and I can basically, off first glance, if it's a bad fake, I'll know just off touching it. There's obviously, if you're not, as adept as I am and you haven't been doing this for 7 years, basically, I would say look at the reviews, look at other pictures, look at, there's apps and websites. I'm pretty sure Soul Supremacy might still do it. I'm not too sure, or Soul Sneakers, something like that. I used to look at them when I was still learning how to, legit check shoes and whatnot. But that's a huge thing that you should look at. Look at the pictures, make sure they look good. Don't judge pictures off pictures. So what I'm saying is, if you're buying something online, and you're looking at pictures, make sure the pictures are tagged. Like they have their username, they have a date or something, because obviously a lot of pictures are stolen, a lot of pictures are taken. So please be safe out there when you're buying stuff online. Make sure that the pictures are their pictures. My pictures get stolen a whole bunch. I have my logo like on the box in all of the pictures for the most part. So yeah, it's pretty crazy out there, but we're gonna get into sort of like just the physical look, the size tag, the box label. There's tons of comparison videos out there. Honestly, that's the first thing I do if you know nothing, because with fakes you can generally see, some of the newer ones are really good, but you can see if something's off, it's pretty obvious. So just pay attention to detail, make sure you're looking at the shoe, don't be afraid to pull on the shoe a bit. Like take the insole out, really take a good look. Brand new shoes, of course, smell them. This one isn't brand new, but you can always smell them. You'll know that Nike smell, that Jordan smell. It's a little different for each shoe, but you will know it once you get used to it. It's quite specific. But yeah, so there's a ton of other ways I'll let you check my shoes, but the first one I just wanted to say and wanted to make it very clear is look over your shoes. Make sure that they look good. Like, look at the stitching, look at the Wings logo, look at the size tag, look at the box label, look at the toe box, look at the back stitching. Like, make sure it just looks good, Like, if it doesn't look good, like, if something looks off to you, it's probably off. Unless you don't know what you're talking about, then, it is what it is. But if something looks off, if it doesn't look like how it's supposed to look, stay away from it. That's my word of advice. And let's get into the next sort of tip and trick. It's going to involve a black light, so I hope you guys enjoy this. We have a light here, so this is a black light. You can get these on Amazon pretty much anywhere. Basically, to summarize it, you take it up against the midsole, you take it up against the size tag, box label, and you're looking for stamps. A lot of the fake factories, they will leave stamps on the midsole that you can't see without this light. I can throw up some example photos here. They're all over the internet. You'll see them. It's pretty obvious. Another use for this is you can look at the stitching and see how the stitching glows, how it connects, how it's looking, if there's glue stains, if it looks messy. Generally, Nike quality control isn't top notch, but it's better than some of the fakes. So if it's really, really bad, if the glue stains everywhere, you know. But there's a ton of videos. I'm not going to get into exactly how to blacklight a pair, exactly what to look for. It's a little different for each model. So please be sure to look at some of the tutorials on YouTube. There's a whole bunch. Check them out. It's worth your time, I promise. So let's get into the next. So for the third step, for me personally, it doesn't usually get this far. I've kind of been doing it so long that I can feel the shoe, smell the shoe, blacklight it, and I'll know within 2-3 minutes. But if you don't know, if you're stuck and you need help, there's a ton of different platforms out there, whether it be Check, which isn't the best, but if the shoe is fake, they will notice it's fake. They're not bad. I've talked to the guys there. There's some good guys authenticating. They do a good job. They update their app. They're on top of it. So I definitely recommend Check. Make sure to check them out. And then also, there's a lot of resellers on Instagram that offer legit checks for money. Yes, it may be $20, maybe $25. It might cost a little bit, but if you're looking to spend hundreds, even thousands on the shoe, it's worth it. You don't want to lose that money. Some of the guys really know what they're talking about. They deal with the shoes on a daily basis like me. I don't offer legit checks. I just don't have time to look through everyone's photos 24/7 and legit check their shoes, even though I would probably make a killing off it. But it's just, I don't have time to do that. So there's a lot of people that do, and there's a lot of options out there for you if you need that extra step, because it's always good to get other people's input and advice. So make sure you do that. And then another word of advice, just for the third step, in case, I'm looking over the shoe, blacklighting it, in case you still don't know after that, and getting suggestions from other people, whether you post it in an app. One thing I would do is ask who you bought it from directly, where they got it. So one thing, I do this every time, no matter what. I'll ask everyone I buy a shoe from, where do you get the shoe? It shouldn't be secret. There's no plugs. There's no one out there that's selling Jordans for $20. That doesn't exist. I've been doing it for 7 years. I have friends that have been doing it for 30. That doesn't exist. What did exist was backdooring. Backdooring did exist for GR pairs. Still happens a little bit, but not to the extent that it quote unquote happens from now. So yeah, definitely the early pairs I'd stay away from. Anything with no box that's brand new, I'd stay away from personally. That's why I don't sell it. It's definitely a tricky market out there. Be safe with where you're buying from, and like I said, don't be afraid to ask where someone bought something from. They should be able to tell you. They should tell you it's from an app, store, wherever. If they can't tell you where it's from, stay away from it. That's all I gotta say for you. If they can't tell you where that shoe is from, don't buy that shoe. Don't. I mean, if they say it's from their plug, don't buy that shoe. There's no plug. Yeah, that's my word of advice. If you're super stuck, it comes down to, you know, if you legitimately can't tell if the shoe is fake or not, which does happen because there are one-of-one fakes nowadays where they were quite good, and there's no proof of receipt or where the pair is from. Always tracking down where that pair originally came from is important. You can always tell if a pair is legit like that. Always. So I can't stress that enough. Always ask where something's from. And yeah, that's sort of just what I wanted to do for today's video. I hope that this input was good. I hope that it wasn't, you know, didn't sound too dumb. It didn't sound like I wasn't giving you guys any insight. I just don't want to go into too much detail or we're going to be here forever. But if you guys do want more detail, comment down below and I can make another video and we can go into specific models, what to look for, etc. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was good information for you guys. I hope you took something from it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.